Hey friends, I want to show you another way to hack. This one we call the zebra hack. HAC stands for highlight and contour. We're going to use our multitasker brush. This brush is amazing. You can use it for lips, eyes, applying your HAC colors, lip liner, eyeliner, you name it. That's why they call it the multitasker brush. And I'm going to blend that today with the shape brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. It is a lighter coverage brush. It's kind of fluffy, not too dense. It has this nice kind of wispy side you kind of use to kind of get in these small areas. And it's great for blush and illuminator and all the things. So one thing that changes with this makeup is the way you can apply it, the finish that you create. Using different brushes are going to give you different amounts of coverage. And one thing that does not change is where you put your color. So that's kind of a constant. You have these paint by number spots. So I'm going to start with my contour first today. I'm dipping in with this big side of this multitasker brush. I'm going to apply my contour temple to temple in that rainbow shape. Finding my cheekbone and putting that right on my cheekbone. Today I did start with some Power Grip e.l.f. primer. I just started using this and it's pretty awesome. So with Seint, you can't use anything that has silicone. So super important, this one, because it's a grip primer. It's gonna hold on to your creams a little bit more. It's gonna help with oil production. So taking that brush, I'm gonna run that down both sides of my nose. This brush is great for kind of a detailed nose contour. I'm gonna put a little bit under my lips. If you want kind of a fuller lip, you can put a little bit of contour where you naturally would have a shadow. I'm taking the remainder of this brush and just putting that right underneath my jawline. And that's it for our contour. I'm going to go into my main highlight shade that is a color closest to your skin tone. I will help you pick that out. And I'm going to draw stripes, aka zebra hack. So these will warm up with your skin temperature. And then when you blend, they're going to spread out and they're going to hit that next spot of color and become, oops, get my nail on, that nice thin layer of makeup. That's what makes it look natural and not like a bunch of makeup is sitting on your skin. So taking that same color and putting that underneath my contour. So you're always going to have contour, main highlight shade, and then your brightener. Keeping that face or middle of your face nice and bright. I'm taking some of that main highlight shade. I'm going around my nose where I have discoloration. I even mix in a little bit darker shade than my main highlight shade if I have a lot of discoloration. So that's a little trick for some color correction you can use. I love having multiple shades in my palette so I can kind of create the look that I want and adjust it as things on my face kind of pop up. You know, if you have blemishes or scarring from blemishes, or you didn't get a lot of sleep and your under eyes are extra dark, so you can kind of change it up. All right, taking my main highlight shade, I'm taking that underneath my eye right in the center and kind of pulling it down past that kind of line of demarcation that you might get from under eye bags or dark circles. So again, this color is going to give you the most coverage. If you're young and you don't have fine lines and you don't have dark circles, you can use your brightener under this whole area. But for me, I did not do that. So, all right, next we're gonna go to our brightener. So that is multiple shades lighter. I'm taking that up towards the hairline on my outer corner of my eye, on the inner corner of the eye to brighten that space. Down the center of the nose. I'm just taking a tiny, tiny bit down the center of my nose, taking some in between my eyebrows and slightly above. Again, we want to keep that center of the face nice and bright. I also like to take this color on my eyelids to kind of blend in any discoloration. All right, so a little bit on my Cupid's bow and a little bit in the center of the chin. And that's it. So I'm going to take this shape brush. I'm going to start pushing this into the skin. So again, that's going to kind of spread those marks out. And because this brush is a little bit fluffier, you can do kind of circular motions. So if the brush is dense, like the blush and bronzer brush, or like the detail brush or the buff brush, you're going to want to push that into your skin. So if it's dense, push. If it's a little wispier, you can do a little bit of both. You can kind of push and you can kind of swirl. So I'm always starting with my light colors first, and then I'm gonna go to my contour last. So I'm just kind of rotating. I'm gonna flip this brush over to kind of get into the small space under my eyes. We want to leave the colors where we placed them. So that's why you don't want to swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. We're just kind of pushing and blending that in. And again, it's going to keep it in its paint by number spot, which is going to give you the maximum dimension for your face. So pushing, I'm kind of swirling this out towards the hairline. You can use your finger here if you kind of need to press that in. All right, now I'm gonna blend up here, pulling down on my nose, just kind of softening it up. You don't even need to put a lot of pressure. We're just kind of dusting, catching it with the edges of the brush, and it's just going to soften up those colors. All right, so all my light colors are blended. I'm gonna do my contour. So I'm gonna start with my jawline so I don't forget, because sometimes I do. And then we're gonna pull up. Again, kind of just catching the edges. I'm just kind of almost flicking it and pulling back. What do I have on my face right here? Looks like a chunk of contour. Okay, everything is super fixable. Keep that in mind. If you get too much, blend more. If you blended too much, you can always add more. So again, softening this up. That's my hair. And then hairline, or I'm sorry, forehead contour, I do like to kind of swirl, and we're gonna kind of pull that back towards the hairline, just to kind of soften that up. And then I do like to go back and forth so this line is very soft. We do not want like a hard line. So important to blend that well. And that's it. And I wanna show you a little bit of some cheek color. Just let me get my eyelids, I don't know if I got this. All right, that's all blended. I want to show you this cheek color. This is a shade of the quarter. So Seint comes out with 5 shades of the quarter every 3 months, which is really fun because it's like, they could be brand new, they could be old favorites that they're returning. So this one is called Renaissance. Looks very dark. It is a dark kind of matte berry shade. But even though that's dark, I want to show you on my cheeks. 1 tap. You don't need a lot. And I'm just kind of dusting that on. So all these colors are super pigmented, but even if they're dark, you can still wear them. It's just a matter of how much you're applying. So 1 tap. That's why these colors will last very long, because you do not need very much. So just tapping that along above my contour line. And then some people love a dark lip. On myself, I like kind of a more medium lip. So I love to mix this color with something lighter. So this is Cotton Candy, which is a lighter, much, much lighter pink. And it's a little bit too light for my lips. So I like to mix them together to kind of make that medium shade. So I'm using that multitasker brush, same thing I use to apply my highlight shades, tapping into Renaissance and Cotton Candy. And it's gonna kind of create a dusty rose. So you can put it on the back of your hand to mix it. I tend to just kind of dip into both tins and let it mix on my lips with the brush. But you can be super creative with this stuff. You can add a little bit of gloss on top if you want them a little shimmer or shiny. I tend to like a little bit of both. So I'm gonna keep this matte today. And that's it. So multitasker brush, amazing brush you can use for so much. Renaissance and Cotton Candy mixed on my lips, Renaissance on my cheeks. And let's add one more finishing touch. So let's do a little cream illuminator. You know, I'm gonna use a different color. Let's try, let me find one. I have lots of palettes here. A little Pearl. So Pearl is our white cream illuminator. So I'm just gonna tap that on the tops of my cheeks. Any high points of the face. So tops of that cheekbones, a little bit on your Cupid's bow, a little bit down the center of the nose, a little bit on the inner corners of the eyes. So anywhere you want a little bit of brightness. And then I'm gonna take that same brush I used, that shape brush, and I'm just gonna softly blend this in. Flipping that brush over, tapping that, and that is it. So zebra hack, lots of fun. Let me know if you have questions. Bye.